What's up, my wizards? It's Dev from SBMTG on the YouTube.com. Down there, we like magic. And today, I've got some Aether Revolt spoilers for you. Maybe, possibly. Word to the wise, as far as that's concerned. None of these spoilers I'm going to give you today come from the mothership at Wizards of the Coast, and we won't get those official spoilers for Aether Revolt until December 26th. It's the day after Christmas. But usually, about 2 or 3 weeks before spoiler season officially starts, we get these like leaks and little, little trickles of cards throughout, 2 or 3 week period. And so that would mean that these are basically on time, But a lot of people are crying foul on these, saying that they may possibly be fake. What's up, Wizards? Future Dev here, just a few hours in the future now. I do have updated information on this, so I'm going to go ahead and share that with you. The source of these leaks was a Redditor. We don't actually know the person's identity or anything, just a Redditor released this image right here with an Ajani playmat and some cards on top of the playmat. The image does look legit, but you always have to be, objective and speculative about these things. Some websites did some speculative articles about this. It was Epic Stream and Tech Raptor. I'll link to both of those sites in the description of the video here. At this point, I'm thinking that they're probably real. Again, the image does look pretty legit to me, and I do trust especially MTG Salvation, when it comes to posting cards that, although unconfirmed, are very, very likely real. So that's all the updated information that I have, and I don't feel like I have to change the video going forward. I feel like the opinions I had 3 hours ago are still the opinions I have now on these cards. Except that I will say, I was with a couple of these cards, I'm like, man, we need a good 3-mana artifact in Standard. Dynavolt Tower is probably that thing, but, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Here's the rest of the video. I'm going to go ahead and start, though, with Trophy Mage. A Trophy Mage is 3 mana, that's 2 generic and a blue, for a 2/2 human wizard, and when it enters the battlefield, you search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost 3, not 3 or less, just straight up 3, and you put that card into your hand, then you shuffle your library. Get it? It's like Trinket Mage, but it gets bigger stuff, so it's a Trophy Mage. That's really good flavor. I see what you did there, Wizards. The card is obviously awesome. I mean, tutors are just good. Tutors are just good. It sucks that it doesn't say 3 or less, but it would definitely be rare if it said 3 or less. Just being uncommon is a strength for this card. I love that it's just uncommon. But in Modern, this card looks pretty dope. It can go grab Ensnaring Bridge. It can go grab swords, so that's good too. Lots of cool stuff in Modern. In Standard, it's a little tougher row to hoe, but there is some stuff that it can grab. But really nothing of great consequence right now, at least. But, and depending on what we see in the rest of Aether Revolt, this could be a very impactful card. It really could. And I imagine that it'll have to be at least decent and limited. So they're going to print some decent 3 mana cost artifacts. So stay tuned for the total verdict on how good this card is, because I'm not sure it's going to end up seeing play in Modern. Like, sure, it goes and gets Ensnaring Bridge, but it doesn't fit into any of the Ensnaring Bridge decks. Same thing with Swords. I just don't know if that's a relevant enough thing for it to go get, to be honest with you. Even though Swords are awesome, I just don't know how competitive that is. So the jury is a little bit out on this card. I think it's a fair card, and I do think that it looks real to me. But as far as its actual impact on these formats, we may have to wait a while to see what else Wizards releases in Aether Revolt that has 3 cost and is an artifact. So let me know how you feel about this one. I definitely think it has a wide range of potential and will continue to have that potential even after it's out of Standard, because we'll always be looking for crazy 3-cost artifacts for Modern and even Legacy. So I think the card has really, really high potential. And let me know if I've missed anything in Standard that might be like potentially broken. Like, I get that there are 3 mana cost artifacts we can go get with this in Standard, but what's good? Like, what is really, really worth playing copies of this card and wasting slots? Let me know how you feel. On to card number 2 here, and this card is also, people are talking about this seeing play in Modern, although I really don't know about any of these seeing play in Modern at the end of the day, but that is what people are saying a lot with all 3 of these cards. So let me show you Scrap Trawler right here. Scrap Trawler costs 3 generic mana. He's an artifact creature, construct, and he's a 3/2. Now, whenever Scrap Trawler or another artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return to your hand target artifact card in your graveyard with less converted mana cost. The number one comment I've seen in conjunction with this card is Arcbound Ravager in a Modern Affinity decks. I'm not 100%. I mean, I see what the obvious goal is here. You sacrifice things sort of in the right order, and you can eventually get all but like one of them back to your hand from your graveyard if you do it the right way. Sacrifice things to Arcbound Ravager. You know, sacrifice the smallest thing first, then sacrifice the 2 mana cost thing, get the 1 mana cost thing back. You know, sacrifice a 3 mana cost thing, get the 2 mana cost thing back. That makes sense and all, but is it good? You know, like, this thing could go in Affinity, but that deck is really, really low on available slots, and I don't know if this is what it wants, honestly. It does not itself have Affinity for artifacts, so it's stuck on that 3 mana on the curve, and there's nothing you can do about that. I'm just not really sure that this is the speed that Affinity deck wants to play at. So the jury's still out, and it is too in Standard as well. If we see, you know, an artifact aggro deck or an artifact mid-range deck, this could easily slot into it. And even if it only ever gets you 1 or 2 cards back from your graveyard, it's really gotten a lot of value for it. So it's not like it even has to be a renewable combo piece that just keeps getting you crap back, although I'm pretty sure that the best use of this card is as a combo piece that just keeps getting you stuff back. It just seems like the most abusable way to play the card. But the card also just looks solid. I'm just not 100% sure. And this is another one where we're probably going to have to see the rest of Aether Revolt before we can judge this objectively. Right now, we're sort of still in a bubble. You know, we know what's in Standard, and I'm not sure what all this works with to great effect. But, you know, we may see some crazy stuff in upcoming sets. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm not really sure about Affinity, which is the #1 thing. Let me know how you feel. Let me know, does this have the legs for Modern Affinity? You can tell by my face, I don't think so. But I value your opinion. I want to know. But the thing that has everybody crying fake over this leak is this last card that I'm about to show you, because it's just so OP that it has to be fake, right? We've said that before, and we've always been wrong. Like, super OP cards that look, you know, just too incredible to exist are, they often get printed, actually. You know, we said that about Sylvan Advocate. We said that about Liliana, although some people thought Liliana was going to be terrible, Liliana the Last Hope. But those people were wrong. There's every Planeswalker that comes out, people are like, this is terrible, even if it's the absolute best thing that's ever been printed. But that story is neither here nor there. This card is probably not going to look incredible to some players, but I assure you, this card is very easily broken. This right here is Yahenni's Expertise. It's 4 mana, that's 2 generic and 2 black for sorcery. All creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. And you may cast a card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Before I get into how broken the card is, it looks like he's kind of doing a Kamehameha in the artwork. He's doing like this, and it's coming out of one hand, so it looks like the 11-year-old Gohan dad Kamehameha, sort of. But still, that looks like a Kamehameha to me. But anyway, as far as how broken the card actually is, it is. It turns out, in Standard, there's broken stuff you could do with this. You know, in Standard, you just play this, wipe their side of the board of small creatures on turn 4, and play a free Liliana. Free Liliana. Or maybe there's something on their side of the board that has more than 3 toughness, where you can play this, and alongside it, you play, say, a Murder, or Ruinous Path, whatever. You know, kill the big guy and all the little guys. That use isn't as good as the Liliana use, but it's still definitely a thing. You could play, you know, you could wipe their side of the board and then maybe hit them in the face with Collective Defiance. There's all kinds of stuff you can do in Standard with this. Not to mention that it plays really, really well on curve with Goblin Dark Dwellers. You know, turn 3, you can play something for 3 or less, you know, that you can put in your graveyard. Turn 4, you play this, wipe their side of the board and put something else into the graveyard. Turn 5, you got your pick of what to do with the Goblin Dark Dwellers. And you get a huge body, too, with Menace. So, like, it looks like he plays really, really dumb alongside Dark Dwellers. And not only Liliana, by the way, you can play Saheeli Rai off of this. So, Grixis, maybe, possibly. But that's all just Standard. Like, that's all just Standard. People are saying in Standard this might actually be better than Languish, because even though it doesn't kill 4 toughness creatures, it still kills most of the important early game creatures that we're playing against right now, and gives you a free card, a free freaking card, which is one of the best things that you can do, if not the best thing you can do, in all of Magic, is play spells for free. So, there's that. You get 7 mana worth of value out of 4 mana, and it blows up your opponent's side of the board. Like, it's crazy. The card's crazy, but let's get crazier and talk about Modern. If this card is real, then it works stupendously, stupidly well with suspend cards. If I'm to understand if it works the same way that it has always worked, in the past at least, you should be able to play something like Ancestral Visions off of this for absolutely free. Blow up your side of the board, draw 3. Bah! That's crazy, you know? And it also, if I'm not mistaken, should work with split cards the way that this has always worked before. You should be able to play a split card, like even the expensive side of a split card, as long as one half costs 3 or less. So in Modern, like, card looks super dope, but it's not better than Damnation in Modern. At least I don't think so. I don't think the card is better than Damnation, although playing a free spell is bonkers. Like, playing a free spell is just super crazy. So, we'll see. We will see about Modern. Is this better than Damnation? I'm not sold on that. But in Standard, this is probably the new language. Almost certainly the new language. Even though it doesn't kill Looter Scooter. You know, it doesn't kill Smuggler's Copter. So there's that. That's the only thing that makes it even sort of fair, is that it doesn't get around Smuggler's Copter. But aside from that, the card just looks absolutely, completely breakable to me. Getting 7 mana worth of value out of 4 mana and blowing up your opponent's side of the board is like, that's godly. That's godly. And that's the whole reason that people are saying that this whole set of leaks is fake, is because this card looks too good. But now it's your turn. Is the card too good? I know that some newer players are going to be like, yeah, the card doesn't look good at all. The card is dumb. I promise you. I promise you, if that card is real, new Standard staple every day of the week. So let me know how you feel about these. Are they real? Are they fake? Do you hope they're real? Do you hope that they're fake? There's that too. You know, what's the legitimacy of these cards? Really want to know your opinion. And if they are real, how do you feel about them, period? You know, obviously all 3 of these cards could see some form of play, especially that last sweeper. That thing, I could sit here and be like, like make faces about it for like 20 minutes on camera. Like, I really feel like just being like, like I am blown away. If that card exists, then yes for days. But that's all I've got for now. Tapped out on this one, but we are going to be doing a deck tech here either tomorrow or the next day. I'm not really sure. So as far as video release, that'll be either Friday morning or Saturday morning. Last time I did Mono Black Discard, and I asked you, and I told you guys, you know, this deck, Mono Black Discard, is a deck that used to be very, very popular, very important in sort of the deck building zeitgeist in Magic, and you don't see it anymore. I told you next time I'm going to do another deck like that. You know, it used to be popular, don't see it anymore. And if you guessed Land Destruction in the comment section, you were correct, lady or sir. We're doing that next time, just in a couple of days, and look forward to that. Sub if you're new so you can get that content, and like this content if you enjoyed it. Just seems like the proper thing to do, right? I'm Deb from SBMTG. Thanks for watching, my wizards.